Hey, I didn't see you there. Welcome back. My name is Curtis Kaboom. As you can see, I'm doing some light construction on my house today because of a movie that I was inspired by called The Backrooms. I think I'll remove a wall there, maybe put a staircase to nowhere over there, but I'll be honest, this was my first real experience with The Backrooms because I never really watched the original YouTube or played any of the games that were inspired by it. So, as I finish up the construction on my house, I hope you'll enjoy my review of The Backrooms. The Backrooms is a 2026 psychological horror movie directed by Kane Parsons, which is just incredibly cool to me because this is the original creator of the YouTube sensation that inspired A24 to produce this movie. I've never really watched all of those or played any of the video games that were inspired by it, but I've always thought that it was a pretty cool concept. If you don't know what the Backrooms is, it's kind of like this pocket dimension where it's very similar to our world, but things are just a little bit off. The main concept is about the idea of liminal spaces. It plays off the idea of the feeling that you get when you get uneasy about where you're at because it's somewhere you're not supposed to be. Think of something like a mall parking lot at 2 a.m. with nobody around. But in this case, it's more like a hotel hallway with ugly yellow wallpaper and carpeting that matches. Now, I absolutely love the parts of these movies where they were actually exploring the backrooms. I wouldn't say that I'm scared by liminal spaces, but I find them fascinating and very interesting. It was so fun seeing how creative they could be when they were designing these backrooms for the characters to explore. And on a positive note on that, I could never tell when they were actually sets or just CGI. So I'm going to assume that the sets were fantastic. Now, the main people that you'll be following throughout this movie are a failed furniture store salesman named Chuck, played by
Chiwetel Ejiofor,
who I would like to point out played the operative in the Firefly movie Serenity. Chuck is also followed into the backrooms by his psychiatrist named Mary, who doesn't even believe him that the backrooms exists at first. And I'd like to say that both of these actors do a phenomenal job as well. There are two scenes in particular in this movie where Chuck is just absolutely losing his mind that I just was blown away how good the acting was, which is further emphasized by a very creative musical score that is both unsettling and creepy when it needs to be. I really took notice to how good the music actually was in this movie, but it's not going to be something that I'm going to listen to on my drive to work every day. It definitely gets the job done of making you feel like you shouldn't be in the back rooms. So, I've said that I enjoyed walking around and exploring the back rooms. I've said that the actors did a great job, and of course the music was also very well done. So the real question is, why didn't I like this movie? Listen, I'm just as confused as you. I don't fully understand why I didn't like this movie either, especially with the entire internet losing its mind over how good it is. I think the real reason is, when it comes right down to it, I really couldn't be bothered to even care about any of the characters in this movie. The plot really is explore the back rooms with these two characters, but they definitely focus more on the two characters than the actual exploration of the back rooms. And the psychological horror connected to these two characters is some of the most basic psychological horror I've seen in a long time. We have the psychologist with mommy issues in Smile 1. I can't even name how many movies are about an alcoholic failure that's going through a divorce. Not to mention the monster was you all along trope. And yeah, I felt like the monster was laughably bad. Being someone that's never really watched any of the YouTube backroom stuff, I still knew what the monster was, at least in the original one, but the real monster of this movie was boredom. Now, I know that sounds bad, because I constantly say in my videos, oh, the slow part wasn't boring, it was building suspense. It was establishing rules for the movie, so you understand what is going on. But no, I was just flat out bored the whole time. I was waiting for that big payoff more than just, wow, look how cool this room was. and the monster didn't deliver. It was so bad I was actually checking my phone in the theater to see how much longer it had to go. I think I probably would have been just more interested in this movie if it was somebody that got lost in here and was just trying to find their way back. I still think it's amazing how these young YouTubers were able to make this into a movie. And because of that, and fantastic acting and amazing set designs, I really want to give this a maybe. But I really think that the overall boring plot and lack of scares makes me have to put it into the skip it category. I still think that this has a lot of potential to grow as a series. Let's just hope that they don't just crap out another plot to rush out a sequel in the next couple of years.